the three steps that I use to transform my relationships and maintain my close relationships. Hello and welcome. I am Micheila Aldren, the founder of StriveAlliance, and today we are talking about the three things that I use on a regular basis to not only transform but also to maintain my relationships, and specifically my close relationships, and specifically my relationship with my husband, because that's the person I see the most, and that's the person who we can really get on each other's nerves the most. So what are the three things that we use in our relationship to maintain and transform situations? Now, why is this so important? Why are these things so important? The reason it's so important is that when me and my husband decided to get married, we were two specific individuals at that point in time. But since then, we have evolved to become the people that we are today, to become the people that we are right now. And since then, the dynamic of our relationship has changed in the sense that we've also had kids, and now we have, new things that we would like to achieve as individuals, as parents, as, people who love each other, as partners in life, but also as a unit, as a family unit, and also with that of striving to create this generational wealth, and not generational sense in the sense only of financial generational wealth, but generational wealth also in the sense of a unit, a family unit, and understanding what that means for us in our specific family. And the first thing that I'm going to touch on the three things that are so important in our lives in terms of how we communicate is communication. Am I communicating effectively with my partner? And when I say am I communicating effectively, because what we tend to do is it's very easy to say, oh, but you're not doing this, or you're doing this, or look what's it's very easy to point the finger. It's very easy to point the finger. And when we're busy pointing the finger, there's those three fingers pointing back. Am I looking at myself to find out with myself in the situation how I am contributing to the situation? So what I tend to do with what I do especially when I'm having an uncomfortable situation or something that's really bothering me, and I feel like I'm not getting through to my husband with explaining to him or having him understand what I'm trying to explain to him, is that I'll, in a calm state, really being at peace with myself, come to him and raise what it is that I'm trying to raise with him by stating that, look, this is my experience about this situation. This is my experience in this situation. This is what I am feeling about the situation, okay? Would you care to share with me what your experience is and what you are feeling? So that from there we can then now reconcile. That's the whole point of having this conversation. I'm telling you what my experience is. I'm telling you what I'm feeling. I'm not putting anything on you. I'm giving you my point of view. I'm giving you what my experience is in this relationship that we have and in this engagement we're experiencing currently, right? And then I give him the opportunity to let me know what his experience is and what he is feeling in the situation. And then once we both add what it is that we're experiencing, now we can come together and we can reconcile to say, okay, based on what your point of view is and what my point of view is, what we want to create out of this for our unit to work that accommodates both of our feelings, both of what we are looking to experience out of the situation. Okay. Then the second one, which should actually be the first one, is awareness. That awareness to know that, okay, this is what's actually happening. And what is this awareness? This awareness is when I realize now that I'm not enjoying the situation that I'm noticing, that I'm experiencing currently with my partner, in this case would be my husband, or with my children. I'm noticing that I'm not enjoying this engagement that I'm having with this person. I'm not enjoying the time that I'm spending with this person. And when I notice that I'm not enjoying the time that I'm spending with this person, especially when it's more often than not that you find you mostly don't enjoy being around this person, and you used to really enjoy being around them, but now you don't. There is already a key indicator of, okay, now I want to be aware of what's actually happening here instead of just letting this relationship go where it's going to now. And once I'm aware, I can now bring into number one, which is the communication. Awareness should actually be to number one, but these two are so linked to each other, because having the awareness is very important, but if you do nothing with the awareness, then it's just like it's nice knowing. Having the awareness and then communicating with the person, because that is so fundamental. Communication with the person that you really want to build a relationship with and want to make it work with, especially when you have children and you guys are a family and you want to maintain that and enhance it from where you are. Communication is very vital. But then when we get to that whole point of communication, it's also an opportunity for us to notice when we are not aligned. So as we are evolving through life with this somebody, okay, or with this people, right? Because I'm in a relationship with my husband, but I'm also in a relationship with my kids, and we are all in a relationship with each other in this family unit that we have established for ourselves. But now, am I in alignment? Are we in alignment? Do we have the same ideas of what it is that we are trying to achieve? Because when we got married, there were no kids, right? When we got married, I was a different person compared to who I am now. He was a different person compared to who he is now. So from when we started to where we are now, are we in alignment with what it is that we are looking to achieve? Are we in alignment with what we believe to be important? Are our values in terms of what we're trying to achieve as this unit in alignment with us as individuals? Because if it's not, we're going to be pulling at each other. It's like pulling strings. Like I'm saying, you come here, and he's saying, no, you go there. And he's saying, you come here, and I'm saying, no, you come here. That's not necessary if we are in alignment of what is important and what is it that we are focusing on at this current moment in our relationship as a unit, right? Once we have established those three things, the relationship starts to flow a lot more easier. The relationship starts to have a lot more ease and flow to it because number one, we are communicating. I know what you're experiencing, what your feeling is. You know what I'm experiencing, what my feelings are. We know what we've agreed on, what is the reconciliation process that we've established here and the way forward. And now we're also aligned in terms of I know what my values are, I know what your values are, I know what the shared values are and what we're focusing on together, because there are things I'm going to be focusing on my own, things he's going to be focusing on his own, but there are the things that we're going to focus on together, and we are in alignment of what that togetherness is. The relationship starts to flow a lot better. I think one of the reasons that I brought up communication specifically as the first point that I brought up is because I realized that was one of the pain points that I experienced the most when we first got married. When me and my husband first got married, the communication. We were butting heads hard. Because we had two conflicting ideas on, number one, gender roles. Number two, what was expected. And then in the alignment, this comes back to alignment. Are we aligned on how are we respecting each other in this relationship, and what are we aiming to achieve by engaging in being together in this relationship, you and me, instead of me and someone else and you and someone else? What is it that we are aiming to achieve that is in alignment with our values? It's going to now facilitate us in moving forward in the direction that me and you want to move forward as a unit, but also as individuals. It has to all be in harmony, otherwise we're going to be butting heads hard. And the communication part, when we don't communicate effectively, what happens is it becomes a screaming game. Like, who can scream the loudest, who can speak the loudest? I'm not trying to hear you anymore. I'm trying to make sure that you heard me. Did you hear me? And that's what the two of us just end up saying the whole time. So this is why it's so important to, number one, am I aware of what's going on? Number two, am I communicating effectively? And number three, are we in alignment? Are we in alignment of what it is we're trying to achieve here in this relationship? And this comes also from understanding yourself. Do I understand myself well enough to know what it is that I want to achieve in this relationship? Do I understand myself well enough to know what I want to achieve in my life? Do I understand myself well enough to understand what type of relationship that I want to experience with my children, and how I can actually go about experiencing that type of relationship that I would love to experience with my husband, with myself, with my children, with my career, and with all the other relationships that I'm engaged in, because there's different parts of us that are engaged in different activities in our lives. Is it all in alignment with me? How do you know all of these things, right? And if you've noticed that you are at the point now where you're like, okay, there's like there's reconciliation that's required here, but I'm not quite too sure what it is that I actually want to experience, because I'm not too sure, can I experience that, because I'm not too sure how would I even go about that, DM me. Let's speak about what it is that you are not too sure about, you'd like to achieve, but you would like to achieve, or you know what you would like to achieve, but you don't know how you can go about achieving it. We have amazing equipment and tools as human beings that we have not been taught in how to use to facilitate us in experiencing the experiences that we would actually love to be experiencing. Okay, we have amazing tools and faculties and inner equipment that we can be using to facilitate us in experiencing the type of life that we would actually love to be experiencing. But because we don't know how to actually use our inner equipment and tools, we don't use it to create the things that we would actually love to be experiencing. And instead, we are creating the lives that we are creating currently by the misuse of the inner faculties and the tools that we are going to be using, regardless of whether I'm doing it consciously or unconsciously. You are going to be creating a life regardless of whether you think you are doing it or not. Regardless when you say, oh, I'm opting in to understand how I'm working, you are going to be creating results. And if you're not happy 100% with the results in all of your areas, your career, your relationships, your life, if any specific area of life is just not working out, DM me, let's chat about it. Because this technology, if it really aligns with you, and if you're willing to put yourself in the experiment of, can this technology really work for me? And it works, but you must be willing to be open to, can this work for me? If it turns out that it's in alignment, who knows, this could be the beginning of a whole new chapter for you. So DM me, let's chat about it. I would love to hear what your goals and your dreams are, and what it is you'd love to achieve, and how this technology can specifically help you in achieving what it is that you would love to achieve. And if I can facilitate you in doing that, I would love to. I absolutely would love to, because it has changed my life, and I know it will change your life if you are open to the process and if you are willing to experience the change that comes with implementing this technology in your life. Okay, so that is it from me, Micheila Aldren. I'll see you guys in the next form of communication. Bye.